Thunderbirds.
Welcome into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, as always presented by Heidemann Associates. It's the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week, and it is the beginning of the end. Week 10 of the regular season, and we have kickoff as the Orem Tigers get ready to take on the Timpview Thunderbirds. Region Championship on the line. It comes down to this. Taken down just short of the 20-yard line. The 20, and we'll have our first chance to see this Orem offense take the field for the first time tonight. It will be the Timpview Thunderbirds in the all-whites with the orange numbers. It will be the Orem Tigers in the black, the blue helmets, and the yellow numbers going to the left of your screen here in the first quarter. Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, happy to be with you tonight for a massive matchup to determine who's going to hoist the trophy for Region 7. Will it be the defending Region 7 champions, the Timpview Thunderbirds, or will it be the home side, the Orem Tigers? A night of festivities, senior night, trophy on the line. Let's get to it. First down coming up for the Orem Tigers. Kava sends his receiver in motion, takes the snap, looking to pitch it out to Iongi, but he'll keep. Kava trying to barrel through and gets a good gain here on first down. A gain of 4 for the junior quarterback. Kava, who has been absolutely phenomenal this season. 65% completion percentage, 2,376 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions through the air this season for the Orem side. With 11:17 on the clock, Kava offense shifts. Receivers go in motion. Kava takes the snap. He drops back, gets it out quick. Caught by Akana, and Akana is going to be wrestled down quickly by the Thunderbirds. And we'll have a flag on the play prior to.
Kayamani Tila making the tackle for the T-Birds, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
Let's see what this flag is here. Taking a look at both sides.
Prior spot.
It is the Orem Tigers.
Oh, that one's declined.
Well, we'll see what the call is first.
Sorry. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Well, the penalty's declined. They'll take a third down. Brian.
We've got all sorts of activity going on, Alex. An early start. Got officials leaving their microphones on. This is exactly the kind of chaos we want for a game like this.
Absolutely. Third down, a big third down coming up for the Orem Tigers as Kava takes a snap. He drops back, gets it out quick, and Akana with the catch goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a first down, Tigers.
Yeah, and if you catch some XFL-style chatter through the broadcast, we are up on top of the booth, so you can hear everything as we're right below the PA speakers. But that doesn't take away from what a great throw catch that was by Kava there.
9 yards on the reception.
He's able to move the sticks on third long.
First and 10 from the 32.
First down for the Tigers as they'll try to get the ball moving here in the first quarter. 10:45 left to go. Kava will send his receivers in motion. A lot of shift motion coming up here early for the Tigers as Kava will hand it off. Here is Iongi, who's going to be gobbled up in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Gets a yard and is brought down. Second down coming up for the Tigers.
Yeah, just a great job of setting the edge from Timpview. And sometimes at the high school level, it's the easiest things that can make the biggest difference, Alex. Setting the edge, playing an outside shoulder, doing your assignment. You see it right there. Bloody Iongi, one of the most explosive players in the state, in my opinion. Doesn't even get more than a yard.
That's a guy you want to keep contained. You don't want to let him bounce out because when he does, he'll take it to the house.
Yeah, Akana is great, but it's really Iongi that is the motor of this offense. You know, credit to Jeff Hansen for shouting that one out to me earlier this week as we talked about this game.
And a fumble. The ball is out, but picked up by the Tigers and almost has has enough yardage for the first down, but miscue here for the Tigers, but they recover well.
On the play,
and that speed option has worked so well for Orem all year, and Sikaava just waiting so long to try and get the pitch out almost ends up in disaster, but sometimes from chaos comes clarity. Orem's now 3rd and short.
2 yards to go for the first down.
3rd and 2 for the Tigers, taken quickly. Iongi trying to barrel through, and he's going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for Feletti Iongi.
Yeah, you can see that Timpview brought their hard hats on defense tonight. They know what the mission is. It is stop Feletti Iongi. Isn't able to even get a yard, and we're going to see Coach Reynolds punt it here. He thought about it, and look, it is so tempting. This is the cookie on the counter for coaches, right? You're at the 40, you picked up the last one. I think it's the right move at this point in the game to just kick this one away, though.
Clock ticking away as a 4th down coming up for the Tigers. And they'll have a chance here to boot this one away. Ball booted away up in the air. Fielded by Pula. Pula tries to escape, but nowhere to go as the Orem Tigers are there to wrestle him down. And we'll have our chance for the first time tonight to see this Timpview offense.
Yeah, Timpview offense that is full of explosive players, led by Carson Rasmussen as one of them at the quarterback position, but he has an absolute stable of running mates out there as well, including the Pula twins, both committed to UCLA, both really impressive players.
First down coming up for Rasmussen and this offense. A couple of raindrops starting to hit us up here at in the Orem box as Rasmussen, they play action pass, gets it out quick, it's going deep, and it is juggled and caught, taking it in out to the end zone. Touchdown, Timpview, Keenan Pula.
Wow, wow, wow. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Keenan Pula catches that. Carson Rasmussen hits him in stride. And it's nothing but pay dirt for Orem, for Timpview on the board right off the beginning. What a start for this Timpview offense. The Thunderbirds are thundering into the end zone there.
6th touchdown of the year for Pula. As he finds the end zone, the Thunderbirds are up. Here comes the PAT. Rasmussen will hold. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Timpview Thunderbirds taking a lead 7-0 thanks to that connection from Rasmussen and Pula.
And it was a great throw by Carson Rasmussen, he was the superstar last year at Pleasant Grove, came to Timpview. He's surrounded with a lot of talent, so he's not really the main character anymore for this offense. But you see him on that play, step up, make a great throw.
We'd like to thank our trainer, the Orem trainer,
able to just reel it in and race to the end zone, Alex. And boy, what a start to this game, huh?
Living up to the drama, living up to the hype so far. Again, it is the defending Region 7 champions, the defending 5A state champions taking on the Orem Tigers. The Tigers looking to be thrown, but so far advantage Timpview here in Week 10. Ball is going to be booted away by Luke Thornock as he gets it into the end zone. That will be a touchback.
Kick goes into
and now here comes Kaava, and this offense looking to respond after going down.
We've seen this Orem Tigers offense one time previous, Alex. They have the potency, they have the ability to break plays open explosively, but really what it's going to rely on at this point is Coach Lance Reynolds finding creative ways to use those weapons. And when I talk about weapons, it's Akana, it's Iongi, who we talked about. I didn't see a lot of Kai Wesley early in the year. He's a guy that really needs to make an impact. He's so highly sought after.
Handoff to Iongi up the middle. Iongi breaks a couple of tackles, gets the first down, and a good response for the Tigers on first.
You're right, Alex. It's a great response, and it's a great call. You tried to get him out wide in some of those wider zone looks, and Timpview was prepared for it. So what do? You attack right at the heart.
Tiger first
a quick
down.
Hitting little trap play, and he's able to scamper for the first down.
T-Birds.
First down coming up for the home side. Ball on the 34-yard line. Kaava with 2 lined up in the backfield. He'll take the snap, handoff again to Iyongi up the middle. Gets maybe 2 on this one and is brought down.
Yeah, and the defense much more prepared for that one. And you look at the scoreboard, you look at the quick stride on the part of Timpview. The part that we don't talk about, this is now starting to become a sustained drive for this Orem Tigers offense. If they can continue to rack up these plays, it's going to wear down that Timpview defense eventually. Now, it's still the first quarter, so they're still fresh, but you're going to start to see that as they keep these drives sustained.
Kava takes the snap, he'll drop back, gets it out quick, caught and brought down. That's Jackson Sanders on the catch.
And Jackson Sanders, probably a guy that gets forgotten a little bit. You talk about all the weapons,
but 12, Jackson
great
Sanders,
job of securing the catch.
First down.
And even better, it's a sticks route. He ran past the sticks and gets that first down.
1st and 10 from the Orem 44.
Good drive here for the Tigers as they look again to respond, going down 7-0 here at home on senior night. And now Kaava will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Iyongi. Iyongi has a couple of blockers, bounces out to the left, gets past the 50, past the 40. Iyongi is going to go past the 20 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Orem!
Vroom, vroom goes Valenti Iyongi as he pounces into the end zone and pulls the Orem Tigers back into this one.
6 yards for the
7-6 pending the PAT. Alex, what an electric crowd tonight. What an electric play from Valenti Iyongi. The kind of thing that we've become conditioned to seeing. It's just pure excellence, and I couldn't be more happy about it.
What a run by Iyongi. What a response for the home side. Here comes the kick. It'll be number 13. Akana out for the PAT attempt. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, Brian, we're all tied up 7-7 in this Region 7 showdown.
59 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, this is kind of the game that we anticipated seeing, and even a few weeks ago when you and I were looking at the assignments, we had this one circled for this very reason. It's 2 of the best teams, not just in the region, not just in the county, but 2 of the best teams in the state going head-to-head. And you can see it as the crowd that came out. It's a Wednesday night. This place is packed.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of late bedtimes here in Utah County.
You can't see it on the camera at the moment, but the stands are filled. The visiting stands for the Timpview Thunderbirds are packed to the brim. The home side is packed to the brim. These fans know what this game means tonight.
Yeah, it's a rivalry, but it's also there's so much more on the line when it comes to that. It's wards versus wards, stakes versus stakes, right? Guys who grew up playing with one another, guys who didn't grow up playing here in Utah coming out to play in Utah. So there's a lot that factors into this one. It's as good a rivalry as we have in this state, in my opinion, and the legacies between the 2 teams as well.
Both teams sitting at the top of Region 7 at 4-0. The winner, of course, will have their hand on that region trophy at the end of this one. Akana here to boot this one away after tying it up. We're all squared at 7 apiece with 6:59 left to go in the first. Akana boots this one high and away, and it will go into the end zone and out for a touchback. Here comes Rasmussen and the Timpview offense.
Yeah, not sure what the confusion was with the ball. They had to switch it out, but it doesn't matter to Kali Akana. He's just going to boot that thing as far as he can. And on that one, puts this T-Bird offense right at the 20-yard line. And as they proved on that first play, Alex, that doesn't really mean much to them.
One play and a score. That's all they needed.
We'll even call that efficiency.
Here comes a first down once more for the Timpview Thunderbirds. Carson Rasmussen and this offense trotting out for their second drive of the night. The senior Rasmussen leading his troops on first, sends his receiver in motion, takes the snap, handoff, keeper to Rasmussen, tries to find some room, and he runs into a wall of Tigers. It's Will Rasmussen there to make the challenge.
Yeah, nice job by Will Rasmussen to stay home, shed the blocker, get out there. Also, just Carson Rasmussen, you see.
Tigers number 0, Will Rasmussen.
I hesitate to use this term, but undersized in terms of what we picture a quarterback.
3-yard gain on the play.
But count his toughness out at your own peril. because he's not afraid to lower the shoulder. I watched him play as hurt as you could possibly be and got out a win against Skyridge last year. This is a tough kid.
Rasmussen on second down. They need 7 for the first down. Here with the ball on the 23-yard line. Rasmussen changing up the play at the line of scrimmage. And a timeout will be taken. Timeout Thunderbirds here as they look to get that second down
timeout of the half.
Or play off.
Yeah, that one was a play clock situation, and it's just
in the northwest
Carson
stadium.
Rasmussen. He's so smart, so good. You want to give him that ability to change the play if he wants to the line of scrimmage, but it's a lot for a high school quarterback to have that, plus watching the play clock. They take the timeout early, and it's a good situation to do that because you're second and a little long here.
And also a reminder that the restrooms are located
for the rest of this
directly
game.
behind the
Every
West
possession is going to
bleachers.
matter, probably more so than most games. And so for this Timpview offense, take the timeout, get things under control. Yeah, that was a great first play. You still got to drive on this one, though.
Team's trotting back out onto the field now for second down as once again Rasmussen leading his troops out for the drive.
Second down and 7.
Second and 7, again ball on the 23. Gregory lined up in the backfield. 2 receivers over to the far side for Rasmussen. As he'll take the snap, hand off to Gregory. Gregory bounces out to his right, tries to cut up the sideline, does, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. A big play here for the Orem Tigers on defense, and a Timpview Thunderbird down after the play.
And not sure who that is that's down over there.
Looks like that's Gregory.
That's what I was afraid of, and you could hear the collision all the way up here on top of the broadcast booth. And who else? Number 13. Is that Kauai Akana playing on defense? I think.
It looked like 13 from up here, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Kauai. I think that's actually Riker Mickelson, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll have to take a look on that one. Regardless, it was a big hit. And you hate seeing a player injured on that play, but I think it talks to the intensity of this game. And as the training staff looks at Gregory, you just hope that he's okay.
And while the training staff for the Thunderbirds out on the field taking a look at Gregory, we'll take a quick step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network. Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, Gregory back over on the Timpview sideline here. Everybody here at Rewind hoping that he is going to be okay as we get ready for a third down. Rasmussen will pitch it out. Here comes a run for the Timpview Thunderbirds. That's going to be Tuaone, who breaks out to the left, has plenty of room, and is brought down at the 40. And a big run for Timpview here on third down.
Yeah, great call by that Timpview offensive staff there as they're capitalizing on the aggressiveness of the Orem. Just a simple pitch reverse.
First down.
But Tuaone's got that kind of speed to get to the outside, gets
First
past
and
the
10 with
sticks.
the ball at the
It's a big pickup there for the
Timpview
T-Birds.
40-yard line.
First down coming up now for the visiting Thunderbirds. Rasmussen will take the snap. He'll drop back, play action, tries to get it out quick, does, caught, and goes down. Good catch there by Pula, Jaron Pula, as he brings it in.
And you can see why the Pula twins are so highly coveted by UCLA. It's the ability to secure the catch, absorb the contact, big frames, really talented players. And this offense,
Rasmussen defending for the Tigers.
just feel that there's something
9
brewing right
yards on
now
the
with
reception.
Timpview. They're starting
Second
to
down.
pick up that momentum.
Second down coming up. They just need 1 to pick up the first here on second down. Ball on the 49-yard line. 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. All tied up at 7s as Rasmussen will take the snap. He'll hand it off, run up the middle, and Aston is brought down, but that's enough for the first.
A nice job by Zeki Vaea there on the tackle. And
Sorokai Aston picking
earlier,
up
a
the
bit of
T-Bird first down.
question on my part. It is Kauai Akana that's playing safety tonight.
Zeki Vaea making the
for
tackle for
Orem
the Tigers.
I don't want to take away from
First and 10
Vaea's
from the
tackle
Orem,
there.
48.
He's done a great job all season long from his linebacking position doing just that.
First down now for the Thunderbirds. Rasmussen will keep the pressure coming. and he has to get it out to Aston. Aston up the sideline, finds some space, but they'll say he stepped out of bounds. But that's a good pickup regardless, Brian, on first down, as Aston goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that's the improvisational factor that you get with Carson Rasmussen. You see, he's able to move and dance in the pocket.
45-yard line after a 3-yard gain. Second down.
Sort of, I don't want to say awkward, but that unusual arm angle. Able to get the ball into the hands of his receiver. And, you know, if he doesn't step out of bounds on that one, Alex, that's a big potential for an explosive play.
Second down coming up now for Timpview. Ball on the 45-yard line. They need 7 for the first. As Rasmussen with Aston line up in the backfield. Rasmussen drops back, gets it over the middle, caught, and it's going to be a first down and more for the Thunderbirds up the sideline and pushed out of bounds. Great catch by Ambrosio.
Yeah, Zed Ambrosio able to cut across the middle.
Zedekiah Ambrosio.
Pick up the first down and a little bit more. And again, we talk about this Timpview offense. And Carson Rasmussen playing as good a game as he's played all year early on. Big-time players shine on the big stages, and see that connection between he and Ambrosio ends up being a big play.
Bunch formation out to the far side as Rasmussen will take the snap. Hand off to Aston. Aston trying to find some space, but he's going nowhere. Brought down for a loss by the Orem Tigers defense.
Yeah, nothing doing there. As again, we see Vaea, but also in cahoots, if you will, with A.J. Snow,
the ball carrier,
holding out on the edge, and just a great job.
A.J. Snow making the tackle for the Tigers. Loss of 3 yards on the
by
play.
This Orem defense. And for the Tigers right now, Alex, they still have potential to hold to a field goal here. If they're able to do that and get the ball back on offense, that could be a massive swing.
Huge for the home side if they can hold. Right now in favor as the Thunderbirds are behind as Rasmussen takes the snap. He rolls out to his left, trying to get it upfield. Back to the original line of scrimmage, and it gets pushed out of bounds. Big play from Rasmussen on second down. Will set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, nice job by Dylan Dye to get him out of bounds, but you can see the respect that he has for Rasmussen as a runner.
He's not hesitant with the Tigers. Number 23
out there from Rasmussen gets a couple extra yards, and that puts him in. Hey, we're there. We're 3rd and brown bear, 3rd and average.
Be 3rd down for the T-Birds.
They need 3 here for the first down as the ball on the 13-yard line. Big play coming up now for both sides. Can the defense hold? Will they get first? Player jumps off sides, and we'll have a flag. This is going to be first down, Timpview.
And Timpview luckily gets away with the offsides call. I shouldn't say gets away with it, but able to draw the offsides call there as the play clock was winding down. Something to monitor throughout this game. It's those little tiny chess moves, Alex.
Approachment penalty
where
on
an
the Tigers will give the
could have been a delay of game, could have been another timeout. Instead it ends up as a first down.
The 8.
1st and goal coming up now for the visiting Thunderbirds. And a big chance here to retake the lead. Rasmussen with Aston lined up in the backfield. Rasmussen will take the snap, handoff to Aston. Aston goes up the middle and again is met by a wall of Tigers.
And this Tiger defensive front came to play in terms of the run game so far. You see just tenacious in there in the interior. Not a lot of running room, and we'll have to monitor the situation again.
Zedekiah Aston on the carry.
Gregory did go out early in the first
Calvin
quarter.
Gardner making the tackle.
How Timpview handles the loss of one of their top running backs.
2nd and goal from the 8.
Rasmussen again lined up to take the snap. Hand off to Aston. Aston bounces out to the right, tries to cut it up, and is wrestled down. Akana there making a tackle.
Again, trying something a little bit different there, trying to stretch the defense, but when the field gets shorter like that, defenders just have so much less ground to cover. Still pick up a few yards.
Zedekiah Ambrosio on the carry.
Now 3rd and goal to go, Alex, and this is those
3rd and goal to go
onion situations.
3rd and goal. Ball on the 3-yard line. Huge 3rd down play coming up. Rasmussen takes the snap, handoff again to Aston. Aston bounces out, gets the corner, and is into the end zone. Touchdown, Thunderbirds!
What a great job of dragging the defender angle out.
Touchdown scored by number 11,
getting to the
Solitai
outside
Aston.
By Solitai Aston. He scampers in for the touchdown. The T-Birds silence this Orem crowd.
Big play by the Timpview Thunderbirds on third down. Rasmussen will take the hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, the Timpview Thunderbirds back in the lead, 14-7 here in the first quarter. 2:05 left to go.
Minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah, and a commanding drive at that, Alex. They did it with a little mixture of everything. Some over-the-middle passes, some passes to the sideline, some good work in the running game, and for the Orem Tigers defense, just a little bit out of position on a few of those plays, and it's going in a different direction.
Thornock gets the PAT to go.
Luke Thornock will be kicking off for
and now he'll have a chance to boot this one away on the kickoff. The Thunderbirds, the visitors, lead it 14-7. Another chance here for the Orem Tigers to respond. Thornock getting ready here to boot this one away. Thornock. And this one is going to be fielded and returned for the home side Tigers. Garner makes a couple of guys miss, and he's going to be wrestled down. Curtis, on the return.
Yeah, Curtis, a younger running back, but explosive in the return game. You see he's getting a little of assist there from Fletty Youngie as he gets the block as well. But if you're watching at home wondering why that one was a little bit shorter, the wind is picking up just a little bit here, especially up where we're at, Alex. And for those watching at home, that'll be something to monitor as teams switch sides. Timpview kicking into the wind with that one.
Kava pitched out quick, and it looks like that's Curtis who's going to barrel through and get a good gain here on first down. Good response again from the Tigers.
And it looks like
on the carry.
Trying to figure out what the officiating crew was whistling about on that one. As always, love and positivity to the crew for being out there tonight. Appreciate our officials and just trying to get the clock started was all that it was. And I'm not going to say that was some home field clock keeping because it's just the first quarter, but we're all excited for tonight's matchup.
Home field advantage is true and well here at Orem High School. Taken quickly by Kaava, over the middle, caught, and he's going to take it. That is going to be Beck Coy who brings it in, gets the first down and more.
And that's the play that I've been waiting to see in person from Kai Wesley.
That's complete to Kai Wesley.
He's 6'7", almost 6'8". But the way he was able to reach back, grab that pass, and then charge forward for a first down. That's a huge pickup off of what was a bit of a chaotic play there in the backfield. Chaotic just because there was pressure.
Handoff to Iyongi. He bounces out to the right, has space, and is brought down by the Timpview Thunderbirds defense. Almost has enough for the first.
I just don't understand it. I don't know why he only has two offers. It is what it is. But that's the kind of running play that I would show every coaching staff if I was pitching him. Look at the patience.
Second down.
He's running behind his blockers. He waits for the right second and cuts outside. And he has that speed and burst to get those extra yards. That's a 3-yard run with any other, I won't say any other, but a regular high school running back, and he turns it into 6 or 7.
25 seconds is all that's left here in the first. Kaava will hand it off again to Iyongi. Tries to bounce out to the left. Gets his ankle caught and is brought down just short of the first down mark.
Yeah, it looks like the officials got him actually just past it, Alex. It looked like he had fallen just short, but to your point, those ankle tackles, if you have a running back who can run out of those, it's such an asset. And if you're at home watching and thinking that might be the end of the Fletty Youngie Love Fest, I'm sorry. Sorry in advance.
That's going to do it here for the first quarter.
With your score,
Timpview strikes first, Orem answers, Timpview strikes again. It's 14-7 as we head to the break. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter action when we return here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heidemann & Associates, Alex Napolis, Brian Brown. Orem High School is the place. The Thunderbirds and the Tigers going head-to-head. Who will top Region 7? As of right now, the Timpview Thunderbirds with the 14-7 lead here at Orem High. Good first quarter, Brian.
Yes.
Carava will drop back, and he gets it out quick, and he just has to throw this one away. Ooh. And a late hit coming in here. The Orem fans here not happy.
Yeah, I think they have a little bit of a gripe just because that was so late after the whistle, and you don't want to see 15-yard penalties, forced drives, right? Like you want to see teams execute, but on that one, you can just tell the edginess, the chippiness, that the depth of this rivalry for both sides. I'm not saying it was malicious by any stretch, but just everybody wants their team to win tonight.
The flag came out momentarily, and then the officials waved it off. So we'll have a second down coming up now for the Orem Tigers. They've been driving down the field looking good as they look to respond after going down 14-7. Kaava takes the snap to Iongi. Iongi trying to find some space up the middle and wrestled down by a swarm of Thunderbirds.
That's going to be one of those matchups that we can key in a little bit throughout the course of this game. A very young Orem offensive line against a very stout Timpview defensive line. You hear Makassini able to make the tackle on that one.
3rd and 9.
Third and long coming up for the home side. They need 9 for the first down. Ball on the 38. 11:20 left to go here in the second quarter. Kaava. 2 receivers lined up to the near side. Kaava will take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure's coming. Has to step up. Escapes. Still trying to improvise and trying to get the first and brought down. Huge tackle made there by Makassini.
Kaava on the carry.
Nice job by Sini as Kaava gets outside of the pocket, able to evade a lot of pressure back there. You see the long strider has some athleticism, but just not enough power to get outside of that tackle.
3 yards to go for the first down.
How do you chop down a tall timber? Right at the base.
4th down coming up now for the Tigers. And they're going to go for it here in Timpview territory. Kaava with 2 receivers lined up to the far side will take the snap. Hand off to Iongi. Iongi bounces out to the left, trying to find some room, but he's going nowhere. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Thunderbird ball.
And that's the biggest fear with a play like that. It's a great job by the Timpview defense. Everybody handles their assignment. You see defenders stringing the play out. Allows Timpview to use that sideline as an extra defender, and Youngi's tackled short of the sticks. And now for Orem, that's 2 missed possessions without a score in this first half, Alex. And that's where the count starts to get a little bit nerve-wracking, because you have to get a stop here in these next couple possessions if you're going to stay in this one.
2 drives for the Thunderbirds, both resulting in touchdowns. 3 drives for the Tigers, just 1 touchdown to show for it so far here in this first half. Receiver goes in motion. Rasmussen drops back. He gets it out quick, caught up the middle, finds some room in space, and brought down. Huge play by the Thunderbirds as Aston brings it in on first down.
Yeah, Soakai Aston does a great job of taking the screen pass, cutting inside of his blockers, and picking up a big gain on first down. And right now for Timpview, they are in the driver's seat offensively of this game.
Rasmussen with Aston lined up in the backfield. Will take the snap, hand off again to Aston. Aston cuts out to the right, and he's going to be met. Huge play made there by Akana.
Yeah, nice job by Akana to make the tackle. A little bit of a skirmish down the field there. Again, a Timpview player tied up with an Orem player
number 2,
after the whistle. The officials have let this ride for a little bit. You're going to get a warning the first time, it feels like.
On the play.
I don't know that we're going to see that. And so as teams try to press that button, it may come back to bite them.
Second down coming up now for the visiting Thunderbirds. They need 5. Ball on the 44. Rasmussen drops back. The pressure coming, escapes out to his right, trying to get it out deep, does, caught, and goes down. Pula with the catch, and a big play by the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, shout out to the Timpview offensive line on that one, giving Carson Rasmussen all day to throw. Gets outside of the pocket. We mentioned he's not the tallest of quarterbacks, but he finds a way to see downfield and connects with one of his favorites there for a big first down. And boy, Timpview is really thundering down the field right now.
First down inside Tiger territory. Big play coming up here. Can the Orem defense make a stop? It's kept by Rasmussen. Bounces off one. Can't escape a second. And he's going to be brought down after a gain of 2.
I love the fearlessness of Carson Rasmussen there. He wants to make the play. On that one, I'm just a little bit nervous running him right into the teeth of that Orem defense. And not saying that he made the wrong choice,
second down,
but that's going to be one of those plays that you look back on it, and if it costs you, it could be a huge loss if he gets hurt.
Rasmussen, hard count, gets a couple guys to jump. And we'll see if this will go.
It looks like it might have been one of his own as the right tackle gets off a little bit early on that one. Now we'll see if he was drawn. I think it's going to go against Timpview in this one.
Thunderbirds moving back already. False start is the call, and that will push the Thunderbirds back. 8:19 left to go. How important is it here, Brian, for the Thunderbirds to take a 2-possession lead?
Got the ball at the 28-yard line.
I don't know if we're quite to the point of critical, but whatever DEFCON level that, right below that, we're there. This is one of those plays where you could really kill the spirit and the will of a team if you get a touchdown here.
Rasmussen drops back, pressure coming, gets it out quick, and Ambrosio tries to bring it in with one hand, slips through, and falls incomplete.
Well, I think he did a full 360 trying to pull that one in and just not able to hold on to it. And those are the kind of plays that you see on Sunday and think, oh, it's so easy, and then you watch out here and you realize just how difficult it is. Now Timpview faced with 3rd and long.
To go for the first down.
With 8 minutes left here, Alex, and another huge opportunity for this Orem Tigers defense.
Those are the type of plays you see on the Rewind Top 5 plays of the week, and unfortunately he couldn't bring it in. Rasmussen will now take the snap, rolls out to his left. Orem trying to bring some pressure. Rasmussen still trying to escape. The pressure coming, has to just throw this one out, and it's caught for the touchdown. What just happened? Touchdown Thunderbirds! Incredible! Absolutely incredible!
Rewind Top 5. That might be a Rewind Top 1, Alex. Incredible play, incredible awareness. It's Carson Rasmussen in trouble and just throws up a prayer.
Touchdown scored by number 12, Dennis.
It's answered by Tua One as he snatches it out of the air and speeds into the end zone to put the T-Birds ahead, 20-7 pending this PAT.
The madness, the chaos. It looked like Orem had Rasmussen down for a big loss. Rasmussen doesn't give up on the play, and all of a sudden, Tua One showing up out of nowhere. A flag comes out. It'll push the PAT back, but regardless, the Thunderbirds up 20-7.
Yeah, just more chaos already in this game, Alex, and I'm still just trying to process everything that we saw in that play. You see Rasmussen throw up one of those balls. The second he releases, like, oh no! But Dennis Tua One made it an oh yes!
Thornock with the PAT puts it in, and it's 21-7 here in the second quarter. The good news for Orem, they get the ball back. There's still plenty of time. And for the Tigers, how many games have they been in, Brian, this season where they've come back from pretty big deficits?
Well, this is almost reminiscent of a game that they were in where it became a shootout against Skyview, right? And so for this Tigers team that is really trying to force their way into the conversation as one of the best in the state, this is an opportunity to learn from your prior experiences. And I have a feeling that when we see this offense come back out on the field, it's going to be a big, heavy dose of Yongi and Akana to get them moving the football.
Last week, it was a huge fourth quarter comeback for the home side, beating Springville 38-37, getting the win in that one. This is a Tigers team that doesn't quit until the very end. Big chance to try to pull one back as Thornock will sky this one short. And it's returnable for the Tigers here as looks like that was number 4, Riker Mickelson, trying to find some room, but he's brought down at just near the 25.
Yeah, nice tackle there by
Riker Mickelson returning the short kickoff. Crossing the 25-yard line.
He's able to cut Mickelson down. And
that's where the Tigers begin 1st and 10.
You know, Riker Mickelson doesn't play hardly at all on offense because he is so valuable to this Orem Tiger team on defense, but they cut down a potential great play, and Orem comes out with decent starting field position here at the 27.
1st and 10, 7:49 left to go. Kaava will hand it off to Curtis as Curtis barrels through and gets 8 on the carry.
Yeah, it shows why I'm up here in the booth and not down there on the sideline coaching, as we see Beckham Curtis come out.
Beckham Curtis, the ball carrier.
Take the handoff. Curtis, just a sophomore.
8 yards on the play.
Explosive player. And I think the best part about that is that you can still have Lenny Iyangi on the field as a slot player, and so just makes your offense that much more explosive.
Iyangi goes in motion. 3 lined up to the far side as Curtis will take the handoff again. Curtis trying to barrel through, but this time going nowhere as the Thunderbirds were ready for that run.
Yeah, it's a power play, and I think that's the, I don't want to say inexperience, but I don't know if there's a better word for it of Curtis, right? Just give your offensive lineman a little bit more time to get helmet on a helmet. Gain. Maybe you can cut that one outside, but
2 yards to go for the
regardless,
first down.
The Timpview defense, they're stout as they've been all game long.
3rd down coming up now for the Tigers as Kaava will take the snap. He'll drop back, gets it out quick, and it is caught. Enough for the first down. Looks like that's Saunders making the catch.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Jackson
Sanders, and that's
to reel a couple in.
First down.
2 early catches, and he's, again, we talk about there's so many weapons on this offense, but a lot of times games like this are won by players like Jackson Sanders.
1st down coming up now for the home side. Kaava will take the snap. Iongi. Kaava with the keeper, runs up the middle, and he's going to be brought down by the Thunderbird defense. The ball is out, and the signal here is that he was down.
Yeah, this one's going to be under discussion, and it's one of those moments where you wish you had some replay. I thought that Kaava was down. We'll see what the officials decide. They say the same thing there. And I'm sure that someone will have a viewpoint of it that you and I didn't see later on this week.
On the carry.
But I love the read, regardless from Kaava there, as he sees the defense flying towards Iyangi and gets a good pickup. Now next time, just make sure you hold on to that ball tight.
2nd down coming up. They need 3 for the first. Kaava will take the snap. Handoff to Iongi. And Iongi is going to be gobbled up by this Timpview defense. Nowhere to go as he's brought down for a loss.
Yeah, it's been a group effort, but I got to shout out Taniela Macassini on that one.
Iongi, the ball carrier.
He was there to pull Iongi back.
Ani Macassini making the tackle.
Boy, I tell you what, there's a lot of talent on this Timpview defense
down
as
and 2
well.
yards to go for the first down.
Part of what makes this such an exciting matchup. There could be potentially 10 future D1 players at any point in time on the field. maybe more.
Third down, a big third down coming up for Orem, and prior to a timeout taken to try to talk this one over.
Second charge, timeout.
Big play coming up here on third down, Brian, again for the Orem Tigers. How important is it to try to pull one back here on this drive?
Sports Medicine is proud to serve as the official
as much as anything, I think you need to start putting points on the board.
Team of athletic trainers,
once you get past that point, it's keeping that Timpview defense on the field.
In the contest.
It's about being able to sustain drives, and really it's about trying to keep up the confidence and the level of belief with this Orem Tigers offense. You know, there's no metric for belief. And I think that's one of those lessons we all learned from Ted Lasso. If you can be like Richmond AFC and just believe in these hard moments and keep fighting through it, that can get the Orem Tigers back in this game, along with X's and O's, all that other kind of thing. You've still got to execute.
Be a goldfish, as Ted Lasso would say.
Yeah. And I hope sometimes our viewers at home are a goldfish when I go on my rambling tirades.
3 for the Tigers.
Third down coming up now for the home side, the Orem Tigers. They need 3 to get the first down. As Kaava will take the snap. Drops back, gets it out quick, caught by Akana. Akana past the sticks, gets the first, and brought down. First down, Orem.
Boy, and I tell you what, you want to talk about two greats going up against each other. That was Kawe Akana against Galei.
Tackle for the Thunderbirds, number 0, Isa Naliai.
And Kawa gets the win on that one as he moves the sticks, completes the catch. Just a great job. We haven't called his name a ton tonight on the offensive side of the football, but he has to be a weapon for Orem tonight.
Kaava again takes the snap. Quick screen off to Curtis. Curtis has time and space. Curtis barrels through. Curtis finally brought down, and a huge play by this Orem Tigers offense.
Boy, the more I watch Beckham Curtis, the more I like him. It's the balance on that play that's so great as he follows the convoy of big offensive linemen down the field and
at the Timpview,
able to pirouette his way through a couple more defenders. Get those extra yards and keep this drive churning for the Orem Tigers.
Curtis comes out to the sideline. In is Oliver Bills for the Orem Tigers. Kaava with 3 lined up to the far side. Takes the snap, handoff to Bills. Bills up the middle, and Bills gets a huge gain here on first down.
And if you're sitting at home wondering why Bills instead of Faleti Iongi, it's that changeup, right? It's like switching out a pitcher. You see different stuff, and it makes it harder for a defense to get acclimated and get adjusted to it. It's a great job by Coach Reynolds to adjust, and they've got the guys to be able to do that.
Second down.
3:20 left to go here in the second quarter. Timpview up 21-7. Orem trying to respond. Kaava drops back, gets it out to Akana. Akana with the catch, barrels through, gets the first down, and the Tigers now inside the 15.
Boy, and you talk about plays that you're glad worked out for you. That is such a long throw all the way across the field there.
That pass complete to Kawe Akana.
Thankfully, those Timpview defenders haven't crept up on it, and Akana's able to pick up the first down. But that's the difference between adjusting between, say, a Cedar Valley and a Timpview. The speed out there is just so much faster.
Hand off to Curtis. Curtis trying to get up the middle, but nowhere to go. As again, the Thunderbird defense just all over that one, Brian.
Yeah, that play almost felt doomed from the very first snap, as it was a great job, great get off there by that Timpview defensive front. The big dogs just doing work on that one, and we don't shout out defensive tackles very often
it's second down
on the broadcast, but this 2 tons of fun out there for the Timpview T-Birds are doing their job.
Iongi now back in the backfield for the Tigers as Kaava will take the snap. Handoff to Iongi. Iongi bounces out to his left, trying to find an edge, but again, the Thunderbird defense all over that one.
And you can see Iongi just keeps hunting for that outside edge, and Timpview has been well coached on how to defend it. Just get him to the sideline. Use that extra defender. If he runs out of field, he's got to turn up at some point. talk about playing team defense right now.
13 yards
that's
to go
exactly
for the
what
first down.
Timpview is doing. They're playing excellent team defense.
Third down and long coming up now for the home side. They need 13 to get the first down. Iongi goes in motion. Drop back is Kaava. Up the middle. Caught by Wesley. Ball comes out and recovered by the Tigers. Kai Wesley. Ball punched out and disaster averted for the home side.
There's a great job there by the Timpview defender as he punches the ball out. Put your helmet where the
Tigers.
pigskin is, and good things can happen. And
fourth down, 5 yards to go for the first down, so the Tigers elect to bring the field goal team out onto the field.
Now the unfortunate part about it is Orem's going to try and attempt a field goal here, and this wind has just started to pick up and whip a little bit. And for Kauai Akana, he's a big, strong kicker. We'll have to see how this goes.
Bills to hold. The snap, the kick is no good as it's blocked by the Thunderbirds. Huge play by the Timpview special teams unit, and late flags coming out, Brian. This is not how you want to see the half end.
Attempt by the Tigers, blocked by the Thunderbirds.
Not at all. It looked like Mocassini on the block there.
At
Number
the end of the play,
9,
there were penalty flags.
able to slide through, and for Coach Lance Reynolds and his staff, that's a critical breakdown. We'll see what the outcome of this penalty is. But now the wind has started to pick up even more here. And
After the play, personal foul. Defense 10. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
so that penalty going against the Thunderbirds. And really, with under a minute to play, I don't think they were going to drive the length of the field and get another score. Who knows, Alex? So a little bit goes in your favor there.
He's great. He's file pecking at the end.
But
So we're good.
T-Birds do recover the fumble.
just a real difficult situation, a real difficult finish for this Orem Tigers football team.
Here we go.
Big play on special teams by the Thunderbirds. A little bit of extracurriculars after the play, but it'll bring up first down for the Thunderbirds. Rasmussen back out on the field. 33 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Timpview up 21-7. Aston goes in motion. Rasmussen will run it up the middle, and Rasmussen trying to escape. And a good play defensively by the Tigers. Looks like that was Vaea getting in there and making a play.
Yeah, and he's the team leader in tackles, if I'm not mistaken, and you can see why. He just does a great job of playing home, and I think Timpview's going to let the clock tick down on this one. Not sure exactly what they were trying to set up there. It looked like a screen pass of sorts.
Picked up about 3
to the
yards.
wide side of the field. Maybe a double pass was coming, but Orem sniffed it out quickly.
That's going to do it for us here in the first half. We head to the break.
It's
Timpview 21, the Tigers 7. Brian, what has stood out to you the most here in this first half?
Timpview's execution on offense and the tenacity on defense. The Thunderbirds came out in the first half,
available in
made
the
it their
northwest
game,
corner of the stadium.
put their stamp on it, and now it's all about what we see in terms of a response from the Orem Tigers, who I thought played well at times, but just not able to be consistent throughout the course of that first half.
Again, we head to the break. Thunderbirds 21, Tigers 7. Don't go anywhere. Second half action when we return. We're going to start the second half in this Region 7 showdown. Winner takes the top of the region championship on the line. Timpview 21, Orem 7 as we get ready to get things rolling here in the second half. Brian, it's been a good one so far. What have you seen from this Timpview offense, who have done a really good job of driving down the field and getting some scores in that first half?
Well, it's just all been about execution, Alex. As you see, Kauai kind of boot this one out the end zone, and
20-yard line.
Feels like the wind is kind of like the Orem offense in the first half, up and down. And for the Timpview Thunderbirds, it's just been nothing but consistent execution and the ability to turn almost near disasters into touchdowns as well. And I'm sure we'll see the highlight all week of Carson Rasmussen throwing up a prayer and Dennis Tuaone answering it. But that's really what's gotten them this 14-point lead as they come out for this first offensive possession.
Rasmussen will take the snap. He'll keep Rasmussen out to his right. The pressure coming, tries to escape, and then he's going to be brought down. A huge play by the Tigers defense to start the second half.
That's that team-leading tackler.
We've
talked about him a lot already on this broadcast. Zeki Vaea.
Picked up 1 yard on the play.
He's setting the tone early on. That was a big physical hit. Again, Carson Rasmussen, a tough player, bounces right back up. But you love the attitude and the early aggression from the Orem Tigers. That's what they're going to need if they get back into this one.
Rasmussen switching some things up at the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. Here on second down, they need 9 for the first. Rasmussen will drop back, scanning, stepping up, gets it out, and it falls incomplete. A huge play by Will Rasmussen to deny the completion.
It was a nice job by Will Rasmussen, and he might have been able to pick that off had his jersey not been tugged on that one pretty harshly by the Timpview offensive player. And I think it speaks to just how physical this game has been and how much contact every player has been allowed to have throughout the course of this one. And now that creates a big third and long opportunity here for the Timpview Thunderbirds. They've done so well at converting all game long. We'll see if Orem's able to stop him.
Rasmussen drops back, the pressure coming, out to his right, escapes, gets it out, and it's caught. Brought in by, looks like that's number 11, Aston, with a huge play to get the first down.
Well, shout out to Maake Apo for putting the pressure on. Gets Rasmussen off of his spot, but somehow Carson Rasmussen threads the needle between both Kawa and Ghana.
First down.
I believe it was Riker Mickelson right there.
Ball at the 30.
They get the first down, the conversion, and I don't know how that happened, Alex. An incredible play.
Rasmussen handoff again to Aston. Aston trying to barrel through and brought down by the Tigers defense. It looks like that's number 22, Dylan Dye, making a challenge.
Yeah, and it can't arm tackle in games like this, right? It means so much to everybody. So you've got to get low, wrap up,
for the Tigers. That was
use
a gain
your
of
technique.
5 yards.
Otherwise, you get what was a potential no gain that turns into 5 yards really quick.
Second down coming up now for the visiting Thunderbirds. Rasmussen with Aston lined up in the backfield. 3 receivers to the far side for the Thunderbirds. Rasmussen will take the snap. He'll drop back, gets it up over the middle, caught and brought and falls over as that's Ambrosio who makes the big catch on second down.
Well, the headline for this Timpview offense is the Pulip twins, right?
With the reception.
But it's been Ambrosio who's really stepped up
in Tiger
and made some big critical plays in critical moments, and now Timpview with a little bit of a no-huddle trying to pick up the tempo.
First down coming up again. 3 receivers lined up to the far side as Rasmussen will keep trying to find some space out wide, and Rasmussen will have to step out of bounds. But a good gain for Rasmussen here on first down.
It was a good gain, and it just keeps that momentum going. It was a nice job there by Stephen Shao, who's been playing this kind of safety hybrid corner
6 yards on the play. It's second
position.
Down.
We call it a nickel, but he's doing a little bit of everything. He's rushing the quarterback. He's setting the edge. Just a nice job to get him out of bounds. Otherwise, Rasmussen may have cut that one back for an even bigger gain. When I say bigger gain, that could have been 10, 15 more yards. He's a very elusive runner.
9:28 left to go in the third. Timpview leads it 21-7. Handoff. Aston trying to find some space, but he's going to be brought down for a loss of 1.
Boy, what a job by A.J. Snow of wrapping up on that play, and that's exactly the kind of technique that I'm talking about. Love it from him as he's fighting his way to squeeze that play in and makes the big tackle.
Play, and now so it's third down.
Timpview with third down and 5
to go for the first down.
Big third down play coming up now for the Thunderbirds. The Tigers trying to come up with the stop to get that ball back. Rasmussen trying to get it over the middle. It's tipped and it falls incomplete, intended for Ambrosio, and it'll bring up a fourth down.
I love that play call on 3rd and 5. I know there weren't a whole lot of sickos watching New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech last night, but New Mexico State made their living on that on third.
Still 5 yards to go for the first down.
On that one, just too many hands in the air. Great job by that Orem Tigers defense. And they earned themselves an opportunity to get a fourth down stop right here.
Fourth down coming up. Rasmussen and the offense stays in the game prior to a timeout taken. We'll see if they decide to change things up. Timpview taking the timeout.
Sports Medicine has your athletes covered.
Like what I've seen so far from the Orem defense here to start the second half.
It's all about attitude, right? They came out early on and tried to play with some attitude and some aggression.
Proud Sports Medicine provider.
You're going to make mistakes. You just have to keep fighting through and playing through it. And talk about, you get a big stop on third down. That gives you the opportunity. It's all a mentality. It's a mindset, right? You have the opportunity now to get a fourth down stop. If you stop Timpview on their very first drive of the second half, that gives your team so much, that big confidence boost, that momentum that could really slingshot them forward. Now, the real challenge is how do you get the stop? And I chuckle on that because Timpview has just an absolute bevy of options that they've used all game long.
The offense trotting back out here on fourth down. Had some time to think about it. They'll still go for it. They need 5. Ball on the 43-yard line with 8:49 left to go in the third quarter. Rasmussen with 2 receivers lined up to the far side. Fourth down play. Rasmussen takes the snap. He drops back, steps up, tries to escape, jumps it out, and it falls into Pula. And Pula up the sideline. Pula with the stiff arm dives for the end zone, and he's out of bounds, but just short. Huge play for the Thunderbirds on fourth down.
I don't know how Jaron Pula caught that football,
number 5, Jaron Pula.
But it's almost as impressive what he does afterwards. He gets the ball, drives multiple defenders down inside the 5-yard line. It looked like he almost got in the end zone. The official trailing behind, and this is one of those moments where I'll plea with people, go be an official. If you've ever had that desire, go do it. Because the more officials out there, the more we get that call right. Jaron Pula, just a huge conversion on fourth down.
Here comes the first and goal. Rasmussen takes the snap prior to some flags out on the field.
I think this one's going to be delay of game.
Snap, delay of game. Offense number 2, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Want to know how I knew that?
They move the ball back to the 7-yard line.
They got a clock in the end zone with a 0 on it.
From the 7.
A little peek behind the fourth wall for everybody at home tonight.
Here comes another first down play for the Thunderbirds after going back.
I was just going to say, Alex, and you kind of felt like all hope was lost of that, but now Orem's sitting in good position where they can still get a stop and hold them to a field goal.
Huge play now inside the red zone for Timpview. Rasmussen out to his left. The flag comes out. Rasmussen trying to barrel through to the end zone, but pushed out of bounds. We'll see what the call is here, Brian.
Yeah, this one's going to be a hold.
Carson Rasmussen, the ball carrier, but
you see Carson Rasmussen come up just a little bit gimpy there on the sideline, is trying to walk it off, and that is, you just would hate to see him go out. And again, as I said, it's going to be a hold here from about the 15-yard line. This is going to be a very punitive penalty for the Timpview Thunderbirds.
Holding offense number 11, 10-yard penalty.
So Timpview
penalty, the officials was
marching down the field. They get to a fourth down play. Pula makes a huge catch and a huge play to get it to the 2-yard line. And then from there, it's just been backwards and backwards off these penalties.
It's a tale of two halves, right? In the first half, it was the best of times. So far, it's been the worst of times for Timpview, as it's been mental errors, really, that have cost them an opportunity to get another score here. Now, you're still up 21-7, so you're in good position, but you're going to have to make a play now.
First and goal from the 17. Rasmussen, the pressure coming, escapes out to his right. Tracked down by Vian. That's almost intercepted. It's caught, but he's pushed out of bounds. And it falls, and it's incomplete.
It almost looked like it was his own player that knocked him out of bounds there.
Ruled incomplete.
I believe that was number 0 for Orem, Will Rasmussen, who again doing a phenomenal job in coverage. And I tell you what, outside of somehow that ball teleporting through him into Jaron Pula's hands on the 4th down conversion, he has been stellar tonight for the Orem Tigers.
Orem that close to picking it off inside their own end zone. Rasmussen has to improvise. Out to the left now. Has room. And he's going to be met. A huge play by the Tigers defense. And it's Dylan Dye coming up again with a big play.
Yeah, great job by Dylan Dye to keep after it. He pursues the play to the bitter end. And just
tackle made by number
shout out
Dylan
big
Dye.
Number 50, Oppo out there for the Orem Tigers. He has been outstanding tonight in the middle of that defense. We talk about a cage rush, right? You want to try and contain the runner. The QB draw gets nearly nothing on that one because of the discipline of that Tiger defensive front.
3rd and goal coming up from the 15-yard line. Rasmussen over the middle, incomplete. Falls to the turf, and a 4th down now coming up for Timpview.
Boy, Carson Rasmussen pays the price for that one. Again, it was Faea with the pressure off the edge, and he really drills Rasmussen, but looked like he and the receiver weren't on the same page either, as the receiver started to turn rather than coming back for the ball. And now Timpview's going to attempt the field goal on this one, and I got to be honest, Alex, Carson Rasmussen has taken a lot of hits in this game. He's holding the ball here. You just hope he doesn't take another one.
The snap is no good. It's a bad snap, and Rasmussen trying to improvise. Carson Rasmussen trying to get it out, falls incomplete. A turnover on downs. The field goal is no good.
The big field goal attempt is no good.
Great job by the Orem Tigers there to capitalize on what was a disaster for the Timpview Thunderbirds, and this is the tale of two fan bases, isn't it? For one, it's just for the other, that's the exact break that you needed to get back into this one. And hats off to that Orem Tigers defense. That was a terrific stand when they needed it the most.
Just what the Tigers needed to start the second half, holding the Thunderbirds to no points on a drive where they were looking really good, Brian.
15-yard line.
And really what it does is it limits it to a 2-possession game now. You do have to get touchdowns, but it just gets you that much closer.
Now it's Kava. Gets it out to Yongi. Yongi bounces off a defender, trying to get back, cuts it up, and gets maybe 3 on the gain, but a second down coming up now for Orem.
Yeah, the hardest 3 yards he's gotten maybe all season is he had to break multiple tackles and drag a few Timpview defenders to get the gain.
Get it 4 yards on the play.
I think the bigger thing is just for Orem, you're trying to get the ball in the hands of your playmaker any way possible. And get him loose because he's such an important weapon to this Tiger offense.
The clock winding down here in the third. 6:40 left to go at Orem High. The Tigers back out on offense. Second down coming up. Kava will take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket and barrels through one, breaks through a second, and is finally brought down by the Thunderbird defense.
Yeah, that's the kind of run that you really have been looking to see from Taden Kaava all year long. He's a big physical quarterback.
Taden Kaava on the carry,
but
picking up
sometimes with those big tall guys, they don't know how to take contact. He's on that, gets his pads low,
toe on the bottom of the pile,
gets him in front of his knees, and so he's able to drive forward and pick up the few extra yards. And leverage, such a critical part of the game of football.
3rd and 1. They just need the one. Ball on the 24. Handoff to Iongi, and Iongi somersaults to the first down.
It just seems like Daniela Macassini has been everywhere tonight.
Picking up the
When he's
Tiger,
going
first
low
down.
to tackle Iongi, we've seen him put pressure on the quarterback. I think we've even seen him out in coverage as well.
At the 27.
He is the real deal there at the linebacker position, number 9, the 6'2" senior.
Kava to Iongi. Iongi out to the left. Now tries to make one miss, makes a second miss, but he gets his toes and gets him out of bounds.
Oh, Folletti Iongi knows how to cha-cha. You can see the fancy footwork on that one as he gets outside.
Folletti knocked
Makes
out of
multiple
bounds.
defenders miss, and it's only a 6-yard gain, but what a nifty move.
Miley.
As he finally gets to the edge and talked about it in the first half, Alex.
8 on the play.
Get those plays in. Wear that team down. And now with another long sustained drive for that Timpview defense, the clock gets tighter, especially if Orem's able to score here.
Kava, empty backfield, gets it out quick. And the Timpview defense saying no catch, and it'll fall to the turf. Incomplete. Intended for Akana.
It was intended for Akana. I just want to shout out number 75, Noah Sufale, excuse me.
Correction, make that 2 yards.
Doing work in the pocket there as he's cleaning things up and just completely levels the defender. The 6'4" freshman. Great job finding work.
Another big third down play coming up for the Orem Tigers. Kava takes the snap, gets it out quick. Wesley with the catch, and Wesley with the first down.
And this is the kind of play that I was hoping to see from Kai Wesley, where he's just a stalwart possession guy,
for a Tiger first down.
able to move those chains, able to cultivate some space in this offense. His frame, his speed, his ability to catch the football, it's all such an asset, and it's part of why he has so many offers and is so highly sought after.
7th play of the drive coming up for the Tigers. Kaava will take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure coming. Gets it out over the middle, and it's incomplete. Sanders was there, gets it, the tip of his fingers on it, but can't bring it in.
Yeah, just like you said, Alex, just not able to reel that one in. Kaava does a nice job of avoiding the pressure in the pocket, able to step up and rifles that one in there. They had Iongi on the outside, just not enough time to go through the progressions, and Sanders just not able to finish on that one, and it's 2nd and long now. That's going to be one of those plays that Orem may want to have back.
Sanders making a couple of big catches in the first half, unable to bring that one in, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Kaava drops back, tries to find, it's caught by Iongi. And Iongi with a big play for the first down.
Huge first down. Great catch. Multiple defenders around him. Still able to complete it all. Pick up the first down. Folletti Iongi coming through when they needed it the most.
For the T-Birds.
Coming into this game, Iongi with 42 receptions, 634 yards, and 6 passing touchdowns. Makes another big catch. Kaava barreling up. Or excuse me, that was
Beckham Curtis. Yeah, and we talk about just getting more weapons on the field. Iongi with the big catch right there, and you're able to just leave him in the slot
6 yards
because you have the young sophomore Beckham Curtis, and he's able to pick up 6 yards on first down. What a luxury for this Orem Tigers offense.
Big drive now for Orem as they try to pull one back. Out quickly to Wesley. Wesley brings it in and wrestled down, but enough for the first down as Orem keeps the drive moving.
Yeah, and Orem had Bills on the swing route, calling for the ball, maybe to draw some attention from the defenders.
That's good for a Tiger.
Nevertheless, Kai Wesley just settles into that zone, plucks the ball, and gets the first down. And
1st and 10 from the Timpview.
This is the kind of play that we expected from this Orem Tigers offense in the first half. We're finally putting together that kind of drive with 3:26 left on the clock. Or if they can get a score here, they're right back into this one.
Good response. Great response by the Tigers offense here in the second half so far. Kaava takes the snap, pitched out to Iongi. Iongi has space. Iongi trying to barrel through and gets 7 on the first down gain.
The definition of a shoestring tackle there by Lee Miley, the strong safety, and barely holds Yongi up from scampering off into the end zone, and nevertheless, it's a 6-yard gain for this Orem Tigers offense. And look, if you're going to condense this game into a couple possessions, keep working that clock, keep driving the ball, wear that defense down.
Orem now inside the red zone as Kaava takes the snap, drops back, escapes out to his right, has time and space, cuts inside, trying to get it into the end zone, but is stopped short. But a huge gain by the Tiger offense.
It was just a great job by Kaava to see the open field and take advantage as a runner. That's the best I've seen him run all season long, as he does it with authority, gets him inside the 5, and first and goal here for the Orem Tigers as they're roaring their way back into this game.
Knocking on the end zone, it's Kaava taking the snap, Iyongi up the middle, and Iyongi's going to be met. Nowhere to go. Huge play by the Thunderbird defense.
Yeah, it was. That Thunderbird defensive front just stout as can be.
Iyongi with the carry.
Big number 97 Hepworth in there. Daniel Beckstead as well. Doing a great job holding it up. And now Orem's going to have to go with a different attack as Iyongi comes to the sideline on 2nd and goal.
Iyongi on the sideline for the Tigers. Kaava with 2 lined up in the backfield. It's Mickelson along with Beckham Curtis. Handoff to Mickelson. Mickelson trying to barrel his way through. And again, the Timpview defense standing strong.
And Riker Mickelson is an incredible athlete, very strong, so you can understand the thinking of it. But a great job there by Taven Kaava to handle a high snap and just get the ball into the midsection there.
From the 2.
Orem's up ready to go again.
Again, now a sneak for Kaava, trying to find their way through the push from the back. Players have their hands up. The ball is out, but the play is dead. And it will come out for another Timpview stop, this time on 3rd down. And a couple of players down after the play.
It looks like they're just slow to get off the ball there. Well, we do have trainers coming out, Alex, and so you hope everybody's okay. But on that one, just the Orem variation of the tush push, trying to sneak the ball in the end zone, and just now you're in a tough situation. Kaava comes off on the field, and I don't think there was a timeout, so I'm not sure if he has to come off because of the helmet.
Tigers with a 4th and goal to go.
Possibly in the craziness of what just happened, it looks like Kaava's helmet might have come off. And so he, of course, has to step off. And now a big 4th down for the Tigers. No Kaava. It's Bills in at quarterback. And prior to a timeout taken by the Tigers.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to take a timeout. You always want to try and conserve those as much as possible for the end of the game, but this is too critical of a situation
keep you out of the competition.
To let fall into the hands of your backup quarterback. And
trainers, physicians, and
Oliver Bills has been out there at the running back position. He's capable, but he's not
Sport for a free athlete injury screening.
So take the timeout. Make sure you get Kaava back in there. Figure out what you want your call to be, because you're not going to get that many more opportunities from the 1-yard line to score.
And so with 24.7 seconds left, the Orem Tigers trying to close this one out. And Brian, it looks like for the time being, Kaava is staying on the sideline for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation is with that. If the timeout should allow him to come back into the game. It looks like Orem's trying to go with, trying to get a few snaps for the backup. And now here comes Kaava onto the field. So an interesting set. I don't know if maybe the timeout doesn't allow him to come back in, or maybe there's something else going on that we don't know about.
And so Oliver Bills trots out to lead this team in a big 4th down play. They need the touchdown to get within 1 possession. 21-7, 24 seconds left. Everybody at the line of scrimmage. Bills under center. Mickelson barrels through, and Riker Mickelson gets it to the end zone. Touchdown,
Riker Mickelson, 1 yard for the Tigers. Touchdown.
It's a jumbo package for the Orem Tigers, and it's a jumbo play by Riker Mickelson as he rumbles into the end zone off the left side for the touchdown. Oh my gosh, Alex, after everything the Tigers went through on that drive, what a way to get a score and get this one back to 21-13 pending this PAT.
Akana out there for the PAT. Bills with the hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And Ryan,
is good.
It's a 1-possession game with 21 seconds left here in the third quarter.
3 seconds to play.
And you could just feel coming out from the half, this one was going to be a lot tighter than it was in the first. You see it right there as Orem drives the length of the field, chews up almost the entirety of the clock there in the third quarter. And for this Tigers defense, they got a big stop. Now they have an opportunity to get one more. If they're able to do that, I think this Orem offense is playing with the kind of confidence right now where they believe that they can do it again.
Big play, big drive by the Tigers. I believe they got the ball with about 8 minutes left in that quarter, and now with 21 seconds left, they'll boot this one away.
This is also one of those cookie moments where if you're a coach, you think about maybe going with an onside or a trick play, and because they just got all that momentum going for you. This one, I think you just try to kick it deep. I hope something else breaks in your favor.
Akana to boot this one away into the end zone and out for the touchback. We'll have a chance to see Rasmussen and this offense trot out back to the field with 21 seconds left.
Ball at the 20-yard line
here in the third.
Will begin 1st and 10.
And we haven't called his name a lot offensively. Kale Akana, who's been such a stellar player for this Orem Tigers football team, has been pulling double duty tonight, and it's rare that you see that at any level, but even at the high school level these days, not a lot of players going 2 ways, and he's done a good job there from his safety position of having a positive impact.
Rasmussen sends a receiver in motion. Hand off to Aston. Aston trying to break through, and a couple of Tigers there. It looked like that was Vaea making the initial play, and Aston's going nowhere.
And then you can see as there's an Orem player down, cramping up. We're getting to that point of the game. It's a Wednesday night. Not a lot of guys used to playing on Wednesday nights at any level, let alone at the high school level. And so, short week, not a lot of time off. We're going to see a lot more of that, I think, as this game wears on.
So while the looks like the Orem player back up on his feet, and Brian, I want to ask, how much does it change your preparation, your game prep, and getting to know your opponent when the game is on Wednesday, of course, rather than Friday?
It just really speeds up the schedule, and so your ability to put in special plays or unique situational plays,
and that is the third
really
play with the score. Your Orem Golden Tigers.
I think the
14,
bigger thing is that for the players, they bounce back, but they're just in a different rhythm, different sync. Now, this is a rivalry game, so all these kids are going to go out and compete hard, but it makes it that much harder to be
take a moment
specific.
To recognize some of the amazing.
That's going to do it for us here in the third quarter. Don't go anywhere because it's 21-14, a one-possession game. Region 7 championship on the line, and it's coming up next. Fourth quarter action when we return. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heinemann & Associates. Alex Napolis, Brian Brown. We're getting you ready to start the fourth quarter again. Region 7 championship on the line. Winner takes the top of the region, takes the trophy, and it's the Timpview Thunderbirds leading it 21-14. Orem has looked a lot better here in the second half. The defense has done a much better job of containing Rasmussen. Brian, talk to us about this Orem defense.
But sometimes it's just about being gritty and tough, and they were tough when they needed to be. And Timpview's kind of lived on the line, flirting with disaster for a lot of the game. We see a screen pass here. Ooh.
Aston with the screen brought down, and good play again by the Orem defense.
Again, Steven Shao in there with a big hit, and looks like it's going to be enough for the first down. But
the pass complete to Aston.
It's the attitude for this Orem Tigers defense that looks so much more invested. And they did get burned on a couple plays there that could have gone either
first
way.
And 10 with the ball spotted at the
Dennis
30-yard line.
Tuaone, touchdown for 1. You see, the second half they've been a lot more disciplined, and things have gone a little bit more in their favor.
First down coming up now for the Thunderbirds, as Rasmussen takes a snap, handoff to Aston, as Aston runs it up the middle, but this time met by a swarm of Tigers after a 2-yard gain.
I know I give a lot of love to the big guys, but I just want to shout out Maake Oppo again. He's battling 2 and 3 offensive linemen in the middle of that Orem Tigers defense, but
gain of 3 yards on the play.
Allowing guys to flow to the football and make tackles, and when he plays stout in the middle there, it's been a big difference for this Orem Tigers defense.
Second down coming up now for Timpview, as Rasmussen will take the snap. He'll drop back, has time, escapes out to the right. Rasmussen being chased down, trying to be tackled, escapes, and is pushed out of bounds by Riker Mickelson, but Rasmussen with a huge play here on second down.
But Dylan Dye showing a lot of just grit and toughness as he gets blocked down to the ground, gets back up and chases Rasmussen out of the pocket. You see Carson Rasmussen doing his best Jordan Brand interpretation as he reaches out
on the run. That's good
for the first down. Going up against his former Pleasant Grove teammate there, Riker Mickelson, and
Rasmussen did not return. Rasmussen is over by the training staff. His helmet is off. He threw his helmet to the ground. And now we have a timeout taken by the Thunderbirds as Rasmussen being looked at. Brian, we'll take a timeout with them. It's 21-14, 10:26 left to go. Don't go anywhere. More fourth quarter action when we return. I want to welcome you back, Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, Carson Rasmussen. Not in the game at the moment, still being looked at on the far sideline for the Timpview Thunderbirds. Aston in at quarterback, he'll hand it off, run up the middle, and wrestle down. Big play here for the Thunderbirds, as it looks like that's number 0, Isa Galei, now in taking the running back snaps.
Yeah, it changes the complexity of this game a lot as Sokai Aston takes over at the quarterback position, and we've seen him a lot at the running back position, catching passes as well. We'll see how he's able to do throwing the ball here.
Aston will drop back, looking to throw. He's going deep, and it is caught by the Thunderbirds. Pula with a huge catch to set him up inside the red zone. Aston showing off the arm.
Pass complete to number 5, Jaron Pula.
Jaron Pula
first
is
down.
something else.
First and 10 from the Orem.
He went
13.
up and got that ball. I don't know how he was able to stay in bounds, but what a play and what a huge conversion for the Timpview Thunderbirds.
9:45 left to go. Aston still in at quarterback. Galei at the running back. He'll leave it for Galei. He's out to the left, trying to find some space to cut up, and he just goes out of bounds. Nowhere to go, but gets maybe one on the gain.
Isa Naliai on the carry.
And again,
making the
talked about using that sideline as a defender. It's a great job there by the Orem defense. Really spread things out. You see a little bit of a slow developing mesh handoff there in the backfield. As Aston trying to make the read. And Galei tries to get it to the outside, but not able to find any space.
Aston will take the snap. Handoff again to Galei as he cuts up inside, trying to take it into the end zone and does! Touchdown, Timpview!
Timpview touchdown.
What a strong performance by Isa Galei as he cuts back against the grain.
Scoring the touchdown for the team.
Scores the touchdown, dragging defenders into the end zone. And Timpview able to recover the score that they gave up on the possession previous as they go ahead 27-14, waiting for this point after touchdown.
Luke Thornick in here for the PAT. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, 28-14, a two-touchdown lead once again for the Timpview Thunderbirds.
Tonight's game. The score, your Orem Gold
How
Tigers
much,
14,
Brian?
The Timpview Thunderbirds 28.
Does it change, though? Aston did great, showed off his arm. How much does it change with Aston now in at quarterback and Rasmussen out on the sideline?
It's almost given them a little bit of an advantage because they've been forced to go to the run game. And that series, it was extremely effective. And that Orem defense just took so much of the steam out of them. You see this Tigers kick return team comes out, not the same level of energy as there was coming off the previous series where they'd gotten the score.
They're not kicking off for the T-Birds.
9:33 left.
Mickelson deep to receive the kick for the Tigers.
28-14. Timpview leads it. The defending Region 7 champions looking to make it, looking to defend their crown. Thornick will boot this one away and fielded by the Tigers. An opportunity here to return it with Iyungi. Iyungi trying to spin out of the tackle, gets a couple of good yardage after, and is brought down past the 30.
It looked like he had a crease there early on, and a nice job
return
there by the Thunderbird coverage
the 30-yard
team
line to the 33, where it'll be 1st and 10 for your Tigers.
to limit the damage and get him, tackle him before he broke it big. But nevertheless, Orem's going to start out with really good field position here at the 33-yard line.
Orem need to respond. They need to respond quick. Kava will take the snap. A pitch back to Iyungi, and Iyungi has space out to the left. Cuts up past the first down marker, past the 50, trying to barrel through, still on his feet to the 40, and pushed out of bounds. Feletti Iyungi.
The only thing that stopped him on that play was the sideline. What a nice call by Coach Lance Reynolds as he gets the reverse into the hands of his playmakers. It's an explosive play right out of the chute to get the momentum back on the side of this Orem offense. And if they can get a quick strike here, Alex, they are right back into the game. And now Timpview on their heels a little bit defensively.
Kava drops back, gets it out quick, caught by Wesley, and he tries to get the first down, does. And another first down for the Orem Tigers.
That slam play has worked well all night long. They're throwing it into a tight window there, but Kai Wesley secures the ball and then drags multiple defenders for the first down there, and Orem has something going here offensively.
Only 30 seconds about have come off the clock. Now getting to a minute, but still that quick. The Tigers into Timpview territory, trying to make this a one-possession game. Kaava takes the snap. He'll drop back. Looking to go deep. Akana's there. Gets his hand out. The flag comes out. And it will be first down. Orem coming up.
And I tell you what, Taden Kaava took a shot on that throw. A little slow to get up.
The receiver.
But he's a tough player.
Pass interference, defense.
He knew he had Akana out open deep, throws the ball up. It's a great pass. The defender really had two options: give up a touchdown or commit the penalty, and he chose the lesser of the two. And that ends up with Orem getting a first down now at the 15-yard line.
Pass interference penalty. The ball was spotted at the
Akana doing a phenomenal job.
First and 10
beats
for your
his
Tigers.
man, had a chance to get to the end zone. PI, and we have a first down. Tigers with the ball on the 15-yard line. Kaava, handoff to Iyongi. Iyongi now trying to get around his defender, but nowhere to go. Has to just fall to the ground as the clock rolls here in the fourth quarter.
And you love the effort there from Iyongi as he's waiting for his offensive lineman to get into position. And
stopped after a 1 yard
sometimes
gain.
you just want to scream, "Move, big fella, let's go!" That big diesel engine's rumbling as hard as it can, and Timpview does a nice job of stringing it out again and limiting the explosiveness of Iyongi.
Second down now coming up for the Tigers, the home side. Ball on the 14-yard line. They need 9 for the first down. Kaava will take the snap. He'll keep. Escapes out to his right. Gets it towards the end zone, and it goes incomplete. Intended for Beckham Curtis.
You talk about a play that you wish you could have back from the entirety. I'm not sure if it was the pressure or what. Kaava gets outside of the pocket and throws that one well outside the reach of Curtis.
Receiver.
Now that leaves Orem with third and long.
Third down. 9 yards to go for the first down.
I don't know if it's fitting or not, but the Orem band playing the Avengers theme song right now. I love high school football.
Trying to do everything they can to hype up their side. As Kaava will take the snap. He'll drop back, going for the end zone. Wesley caught! And it falls out! No, they're giving the signal touchdown. The Timpview Thunderbirds thought that came out. Wesley jumps up and brings it in for the touchdown.
Tiger touchdown.
Kai Wesley just went up and said, "Man's game, that's my ball." Came down with a touchdown. You mentioned, Alex, the ball came out afterwards. It's because Kai Wesley took a big shot there in the end zone. And what a tough play. Wesley's still down. You hope that everything's okay. Just a terrific job. Like Ava to find him in the end zone. Again, you can't emphasize enough. These kids have so much going for them in their future. You see a number of people out there in the end zone around him. You hope that everything is okay.
The training staff here at Orem High on the field taking a look at Kai Wesley after the touchdown. And Kaava there in the mix as well, making sure his guy is okay. And you see that nice little dap up, that moment, beautiful moment there between Kaava and Wesley as Wesley's back up on his feet.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing: when you're 6'7" and you're going up like that, it's real hard to protect that midsection, and so you're always nervous when a player goes down like that. That it's something to do with the head, but more often than not, it's just getting that wind knocked out of you. And for Kai Wesley, I love the attitude to get back up after that, hustle off of the sideline, and shout out to the QB1 carrying his helmet off for him.
Akana, the PAT is up, the PAT is good, and Brian, here we go again, a one-possession game, 28-21 with 7:40 left to go. But the big question, who comes out for quarterback for Timpview?
Yeah, we saw on the sideline there, Carson Rasmussen was in extreme pain, I would say. Not sure if there was a previous injury, but a lot of frustration, and not sure if he'll be able to come back into this game. If so, it'll be up to Aston to step in for the Thunderbirds. And so Aston did a good job on the previous drive. It looks like he does have his helmet on.
Over here, it looks like.
Attention.
Look, to be fair, we're on the complete opposite side, and from over here, it looks like Rasmussen has a headset on
or it will
at the
be
moment.
towed.
So we'll see.
You have a red Grand Cherokee parked by the seminary building. Please move your car immediately before it's towed away.
And now Akana will boot this one up and away. What a kick from Akana as that one goes into the end zone and out for the touchback. And now here comes
Akana's
the Timpview offense.
For the touchback.
And it will be
the officials will spot the ball at the 20-yard line, and that's where the T-Birds
number 11, Aston, to lead this team out.
And the luxury that Timpview has, they have a 7-point lead. They have a strong offensive line that has done a good job all night long. And they've shown proficiency in the run game, Alex. For the Orem Tigers, can you get a stop now? Even bigger, can you get a 3 and out and try and even this one up quick?
Aston in at quarterback for Rasmussen. Galea in the running back position. Receiver goes in motion. And we'll have a flag. I think this one's going back, Brian.
Yeah, it looks like the early indication is a false start.
Prior to snap, false start, offense.
And that's one of the downsides to having a backup quarterback in, Alex. The cadence and the rhythm of it's just that much different.
It's 1st and 15.
And, you know, for Timpview, they understand the severity of the situation. They want to get off to a good start on this drive. They want to maintain that lead, and you see the excitement just getting a little too much. And 1st and 15 now puts the Timpview Thunderbirds in a bit of a hole.
Aston on 1st down after the false start, takes the snap, handoff to Galea. Galea bounces out to his left, and he's going to be brought down. Big play, big tackle by Akana.
Yeah, it's a great job by Akana saving it as Orem brought the blitz off the edge, expecting the pass, and nice call there by
5 yards on the play.
Timpview coaching staff as they go with the inside handoff and pick up that lost 5 yards, but it's 2nd and 10 now, and something to watch out for. Kawi Akana came up limping pretty deliberately after that play, and sometimes you take that hit to the thigh and it just hurts.
Rasmussen over on the sideline for the Thunderbirds with the headset on. He'll get this one out. Aston will get this one out. A good catch and a 1st down for the Thunderbirds. As it looks like that's number 21. Tui Tupo making a catch.
Yeah, nice job there by
to number 15. Correction, number 21.
Aston to find his receiver there in the flat, and I think it was actually Abraham
15 yards on the reception.
That made the reception
1st
on
and 10
one.
For the T-Birds.
6:30 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Aston takes the snap. He keeps up the middle. Nowhere to go. Orem comes up with a defensive stop on 1st down.
Yeah, again, Aston calling his own number there. And Timpview kind of falling into a little bit of a lull there. They need to get up and go here offensively.
Kai Aston on the carry.
Second down coming up now for the Timpview Thunderbirds. Aston takes the snap. He drops back. He gets it out, going deep, and it is caught by Pula. How about that? Pula does it again.
Unbelievable, Alex. It was like the second that Aston released that football, the wind gust picked up, and I thought to myself, oh no, where's this one going to go? And I don't know why I would ever doubt Jaron Pula. There's some sort of magnetic force that draws the football into his hands.
For the T-Birds.
He'll have to go off for this play because he lost his helmet in the process, but wow, what a play. What a luxury to have a player like that out there.
Just what the Thunderbirds needed. A huge reception by Pula. Sets him up just outside the 20.
Timpview.
A timeout taken by the Timpview Thunderbirds. And with 5:20 left to go, Brian, we'll take it as well. Don't go anywhere. The conclusion of this Region 7 championship game when we come back. Welcome back in for a 1st and 10 after the huge play by Jaron Pula. Ashton takes the snap. He'll leave it for Galei, who runs up the middle and is going nowhere as the Tigers defense comes up big. Carson Rasmussen, quarterback for the Timpview Thunderbirds, out. Over on the sideline as Aston now taking charge of this offense.
On the carry, making the tackle for the Tigers.
You see running to the interior, that Orem defense has not been as successful.
2nd down.
For the Thunderbirds.
And changing up things here at the line of scrimmage. Aston with Galei in the backfield on 2nd down. Aston drops back, going for the end zone. Caught! And it's a touchdown, Thunderbirds! Ambrosio extends the lead.
Touchdown.
Let's go!
What a response by the Timpview Thunderbirds. What a throw. Soakai Aston as he finds Ambrosio out there for the touchdown. And the Thunderbirds go up 34-21 here in the 4th, and falls over the Orem crowd.
Flag comes out prior to the PAT. And with 4:35 left, that mountain that Orem had to climb just got bigger.
Yeah, that was just an incredible drive, and I cannot say enough about Soakai Aston stepping in as the backup quarterback and being absolutely electric.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Because we're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct here against Timpview, and that's going to be a big penalty. I'm not sure what is the mic of the official went out there, so we didn't get the full explanation. I assume that will be assessed on the kickoff.
It will be Luke Thornick out there again for the PAT attempt. The ball is snapped, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Timpview Thunderbirds, a 2-possession lead with 4:35 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
4 minutes, 35 seconds to play in tonight's game. Your score, the Orem Golden Tigers 21, the Timpview Thunderbirds 35.
Concerns that Rasmussen was out, but how about Aston stepping up at the quarterback position, putting the offense on his back? That's 2 deep balls to Pula that immediately lead to touchdowns.
It's such a prevalent phrase in the game of football, next man up, but rarely do you see a backup quarterback step up and make the plays the way Soakai Aston did. Hats off, all the credit in the world to him, as we're going to see that penalty marked off here. Orem will get good field position with 4:35 left, Alex. I think the issue is just, do you have 2 more possessions in you if you're able to get a score, and how quickly can you get that score?
Will be kicking off from the 25.
Thornick out to boot this one away. Kicking it from the 25-yard line after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty taken on the kickoff. Thornick keeps it low past the 50. And how about that? The Orem Tigers will get to set up shop at the 48-yard line.
Squib kick covered up by the Tigers at their own 49-yard line.
Listen, I don't want to give Folletti Yongi a full length of field to try and score either. So I understand where the call is coming from for Timpview.
Orem.
I think you're almost better off working from a short field in some respects. Nevertheless, you see the costliness of a penalty like that. The unsportsmanlike conduct puts Orem in great field position here. The Timpview defense has done a good job of getting stops at times, but we've seen this Orem Tiger offense really find a rhythm, and you have to believe that they're going to try and get that ball in the hands of one of their playmakers here.
35-21, down by 2 touchdowns. Does Orem have it again? In them again to come back. Kaava gets it out quick, trying to find Sanders, who was all by himself, but it falls incomplete.
It looks like a miscommunication of some sort there.
Jackson Sanders, the intended receiver. Second down.
See that ball falls incomplete, kind of in between two wide receivers. Looked like somebody missed a cue on something there. And it'll be 2nd and 10 now for Orem, but one of those opportunities that you just wonder if that's going to factor into this thing.
4:27 left to go here in the 4th. Kava steps up in the pocket. The pressure coming, escapes, and then brought down. But a good gain on 2nd down for Kava.
On the carry.
And the bigger thing is that clock starts to tick now, and so you've got to get up and get ready to go.
It'll be 3rd down, 3 yards to go.
You can pick up this 3rd down, and you're not at a point right now where you can waste time. Orem tries to get huddled up here.
3rd down coming up, 3rd and 3. Ball on the 44, the time ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Kava lined up with 2 receivers lined up on each side. Kava, the pressure coming, leaves it for Curtis, and Curtis is going nowhere on 3rd down.
Not sure what the thinking was with the draw play there.
On the carry, losing 1 yard.
Had the entire defensive unit up tight on the line of scrimmage.
Down, 4 yards
Just
to
no
go
room
for
for Beckham Curtis to try and get the 1st down, and now a critical 4th down for the Orem Tigers.
As the clock continues to tick, tick, tick away. 3:12 left to go. 4th down coming up for the Orem Tigers. Kava with, it looks like that's number 23, Zach Graver, lined up in the backfield. Kava drops back. Akana can't bring it in, and it'll be a turnover on downs through the hands of Akana. Incomplete, and the flags begin to fly.
Oh, this is going to be after the play, so it won't have any effect on whether or not Orem retains possession, but goodness, just...
The pass intended for Kawe Akana falls incomplete.
For the Orem Tigers, just
after the play, a penalty marker on the
unable
field.
to get it done on 4th down when they needed to get it done in a desperate way.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 25 of the defense. That is his first of the game, will be 1st down.
Unsportsmanlike against the Thunderbirds. It will push them back, and now you need a big play here from the Orem defense. Can you try and force a turnover here and get the ball back inside
1st and 10
Timpview
for
territory
the from their own 30-yard line?
First down coming up for Timpview. And a run up the middle as he's brought down. And Orem keeping that timeout. Got 2.
Yeah, they've got 2 timeouts left and 2:40 on the clock right now for all of our amateur timekeepers at home. I feel like that's the pastime of the fan,
on the play.
Keeping track of the clock. And
2nd down.
And just for Timpview, it's all about milking the clock as much as possible for Orem. Get those stops.
2:20 as the clock continues to wind down. 2nd down for Timpview. Hand off to Galeai. Tries to cut it back up inside and is brought down. Looks like that was number 50, Apo, in there.
Big fella's been doing work all night long. Finally gets a tackle out of it. Orem takes a timeout there.
Saisunali, the ball carrier.
And for the Tigers, it gets real critical right now. Because it's 3rd and long.
3rd down. 3rd to 10.
Big 3rd down coming up for the for the Timpview Thunderbirds as they look to take down the clock and walk away with a massive win to claim the Region 7 title. The fans over there on the far side, Blind, already with the "I believe" chants. 2:07 left to go here in the fourth. After the timeout, both offense, or
Hey,
excuse me,
fans,
the
we'd like to
offense
remind you at the
and the
conclusion
Orem
of tonight's
defense
game to
taking
please
back
stay
the
off
field.
the playing surface. I'd like to invite fans and parents, please stay off the playing surface at the conclusion of tonight's game.
Third down coming up. Aston lined up to take the snap. He does. Runs it up the middle. Finds some room. The flag comes out, and he's brought down. First down for the Thunderbirds on third down.
Yeah, first down and potentially more, as there was a face mask on that one. I'm sure Timpview will take whichever distance gets them the most yards.
Foul. Face mask.
So if I asked him picking up the T-Bird
15
first
yards to be
down.
added to the end of the run. First down.
The bigger news, Alex, is that's a first down for the Timpview Thunderbirds, and with 2:01 left on the clock and only one timeout left, it makes this extremely difficult for a Tigers comeback.
First down now for Timpview.
After the penalty on the Tigers, keepers have the ball 1st and 10 from the Orem 43.
1st and 10, ball on the 43. The clock begins to roll, and we'll have a stoppage in play here as the officials now try to figure out the clock.
So they should have. They got one left. Hey guys, listen. If they have one timeout, okay.
Trying to get the play clock back sorted out.
Put 2:01 back on the clock.
And the game clock. Now the clock will begin to roll again. First down now for the Timpview Thunderbirds, as Aston, taking his time on the play, runs all the way over to the sideline for the play call. Timpview Thunderbirds here in no hurry, as they'll let this clock wind down.
And you get the benefit of a 40-second play clock there, and such a critical moment in the game. There have been several, and for Timpview, they're going to take a timeout here.
Timeout, Timpview. Final timeout of the half.
Timeout taken by the Thunderbirds with 1:20 left to go. Brian, we'll take it with them here on the Rewind Sports Network. Want to welcome you back into Orem High School as we come back, and well, another timeout taken, this time by the Tigers.
Timeout, Orem. Final timeout of the half.
So either team have no timeouts remaining here in the fourth quarter. With 1:16 left to go. Brian, talk to us again about this Timpview offense and what you've seen from them tonight.
Just a lot of resilience as the Thunderbirds have fought through a lot of adversity tonight, able to capitalize on multiple break-even plays, we'll say, and end up with touchdowns. And I think the biggest thing for me has been the performance of Jaron Pula, because every time Timpview has been stuck or in a dangerous situation, he's seemingly come up with a huge play to bail him out, and his play has just been outstanding. I can't say enough about how impressed I am by the play of Jaron Pula.
Victory formation. Aston takes the snap. He gets down to a knee as the clock begins to run down. And Brian, it's moments like this where I wish we had a statistician up here to let us know how many yards Jaron Pula has on the day, because not only did he have one, not only did he have two, pretty sure he had three big catches down the field for this Timpview offense.
Yeah, and should have had at least a couple of touchdowns as well, had you not been close to falling out of bounds there in that south end zone. But He was so impressive, and again, we want to shout out the play of Silikai Aston stepping in as the backup quarterback when Carson Rasmussen went down, and as the time ticks off, under 30 seconds to play now here, and it's going to be the Timpview Thunderbirds who will be celebrating all the way back home.
With 19 seconds left, the team's heading out onto the field to shake the hands, and they've done it again. The defending Region 7 champion have done it again. The Timpview Thunderbirds standing as the kings, as the top of Region 7.
And that's the end of tonight's game with your final score. The Timpview Thunderbirds
the Thunderbirds soaring to a victory.
35-21.
And they'll be able to hold up some silverware as they get ready
football
for the playoffs.
Please, as a courtesy to our great custodial staff, pick up any garbage you may see in your area on your way out.
We expected a thriller tonight.
Have a great evening, and please drive home safely.
Didn't quite end that way, but for the most part, this game was as good and competitive as a match as we've seen all season long. Hats off to the Timpview Thunderbirds. As you mentioned, Alex, going home with hardware. Region champs.
What is obviously they are the defending 5A state champions, Brian, but from what you've been able to see from this Timpview team, do they have everything they need to get back to Rice-Eccles Stadium and defend that crown?
Well, I think tonight was an interesting one because a lot of it will depend on the injury to Carson Rasmussen, and it seems like they've got somebody in Silikai Aston who can step up and be a capable replacement. But I was really impressed by the tenacity and the effort defensively from the Thunderbirds tonight. We hear it all the time. I like to say offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And the Thunderbirds certainly have a defense worthy to get them back to Rice-Eccles Stadium in November.
The Timpview Thunderbirds, Region 7 champions. We'll see what they're able to do as we get ready for playoffs. Heartbreaker for Orem here at home. Not only is it senior night, not only did you have the Region 7 title on the line, but now you fall to 8-2, and you kind of have that loss to kind of hold you over until you get to the playoffs.
And for Orem, I think it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and that usually depends on the makeup and the culture of your football team, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. For this Orem Tigers team, I think it's going to be a good thing, because they are going to have a moment that they can look back on and say, we don't want to feel like this ever again. But for tonight, the Tigers, I don't think, things don't always go the way that you want them to. For them, tonight did not go that way. They'll have a lot to look back on and figure out. These two teams are likely to see each other once again at some point in the playoffs. That's the beautiful part about high school playoffs. You never can tell what might just happen.
All right, Brian, let's hear it. Who is your MVP? Who is the player you've had your eyes on all night? Who stands out the most in this one?
A tip of the hat just one more time to Silikai Aston, who did a phenomenal job stepping in, but I think it's clear for me that Jaron Pula was the star of the game and the MVP of tonight's affair.
And then I think for Alex, player of the game, I'm gonna give it to Riker Mickelson. I know they took the loss, but defensively, I thought Riker Mickelson did a lot of big things for Orem in this one.
It was a hard-fought effort for that Orem defense, and I think at the end of the day, football's a hard sport because sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce in your direction. There were a couple plays where it seemed, I swear the ball disapparated at one point in time, through a literal Orem defender and into Jaron Pula's hands. And when that happens, sometimes it's just not meant to be your night. So kudos to the Tigers. I love Riker Mickelson. He's a great player. The Youngie probably didn't have the impact that he wanted to tonight, but at the same time, you saw Taden Kaava really step up. A shout out to Kawa Kana as well, going both ways tonight. Whatever the reasoning for that, this is what makes sports great.
Brian, a pleasure being able to come out with you here every Friday, every Wednesday, now, or I guess one Wednesday coming out and enjoying a wonderful football season. Now we on the Rewind Sports Network look forward to the playoffs. That's going to do it for us here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heinemann Associates, Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, and a big shout out to Austin on the camera. And from the entire Rewind Sports family, we thank you for watching. Everyone have a good night, and we'll see you in the playoffs.